Hey Leos, how y'all doing? Welcome. We're going to be doing your October general reading here. A quick announcement before I get started. I am now over on Patreon where I'm doing a lot of fun extra content. I'm doing channeled messages for the collective. I'm doing animal energy and advice readings. I'm doing all sorts of stuff over there, and I would be so honored if you would join me over on Patreon. All of that information is in the description box below, and thank you very much. So let's get into your meditation. The first thing that I heard was The Tower of Learning by Rufus Wainwright. The Tower of Learning by Rufus Wainwright. And then I saw this actual tower, and then I saw the Leo Collective as a dragon, exciting, which is very much teacher-student energy. And inner knowing and clear sight. And then I saw the I almost said tiger, the dragon land on the top of the tower, and then I saw this beautiful golden egg, which for me, the golden egg is about inner truth, soul purpose, why we're here, but it can also relate to a Two of Cups energy, which is about love that is shared between, two souls. Or just that kinship, like a friendship love where you're like, wow, I don't have to over-explain myself with you. This is amazing. But it's that true kindred spirit connection, right? Dragon energy is also about ancestors and remembering what we already know as well. And then it's the Tower of Learning. So it's interesting. And there's a lyric in that song about, I saw in your eyes what I'm looking for. It's one look, something, something. So I do feel like there's an energy of clear seeing here, clear sight, maybe a bird's eye perspective, because on top of the tower, dragon's eye perspective. Oh, wow, okay. Well, speaking of bird's eye perspective, and then we have the hummingbird here, this is really beautiful. So this is about romantic love, which is what I was just talking about. Yay. But this is also, adding on to that. If romantic love is, not necessarily in your personal atmosphere at the moment. First of all, I feel it's very prominent here. So if not right now, then it's in the air, darlings. But hummingbird is also about that lightness of being and that true joy that stems from the sweetness of life, right? That stems from being in a place where you're doing what you love to do. You're around people that you love and feel understood by. But there's it's like I can feel it. It's like really romantic, a deep soul connective love here. It's very, very pertinent. Whenever hummingbird comes up for me in a reading, this is always what it means. It's always like a sweet love energy, which is really beautiful. This also equates to like a Page of Swords energy as well, on the other hand, which is about communication, ideas, writing, right? Penning something, putting something down on paper, making an offer, whatever have you. This is really, really beautiful. I also want to point out that all the colors of the chakras are here, and that aspect of the rainbow. For me, this represents being in a state of balance, because there is this circle here, right, with all the colors of the chakras. So it really does feel like you're in a beautifully balanced place. I'm also really drawn to this red in the throat area. Red corresponds to the root chakra, which is about grounding, your seat of security, your place in the world, money, finances, home, all of that good stuff. I just saw 3:33 on the timer. Wow, Leo's showing up today. But the red in the throat as well, I keep saying it, I feel like there's a good group of y'all that are involved in work that is aligned with what you truly love to do in your soul's purpose. It feels really nice, Leo. It feels very, very nice, actually. All right, let's see what's going on. Thank you, Leo, for this beautifully lovely and light energy. Okay. Six of Pentacles. Equal give and take, reciprocity, relationships that are equally weighted in nature, that feel good, that are beneficial to you. This is also about you giving and receiving from others. This is interesting because I heard The Tower of Learning by Rufus Wainwright. Right? The Tower of Learning. And I had that feeling of the student teacher because of the dragon. You could be in a place where you're learning something new, or in a teacher student or mentorship program, something like that. Or you're in a position where you have clients, then you're bringing on new clients, your client base is deepening or developing or something like that. But there's this distinct energy of give and take, of you being given what is due you in a really beautiful way. I mean, what you've earned, you know what I mean. Not what's due you, but what you've earned. You being compensated for all the work and that you do in the presence that you are, all of your contributions, really. I feel like some of this is word of mouth. I just heard word of mouth. I feel like someone is benefiting from word of mouth. And truthfully enough, let me tell you something. I've owned a couple businesses in my life, and I will tell you that you can do all the Google advertising in the world, you can do the Yelp, you can do all the different kinds of social media advertising, you can do all of that. But at the end of the day, the best advertisement there is doing the best possible job you can do and allowing the word of mouth to circulate. There's nothing like it. Okay? Okay, just got shivers. Oop. Oh, indeed. Wow. Okay. So we got the Queen of Pentacles here. So this is really beautiful earth energy. So you have two earth energies here. Really beautiful earth energy here. She's also a benefactor of sorts, but she also reminds us of the truth that the more we're grateful for what we already have, the more we manifest to be grateful for. It's that law of attraction, reciprocal energy with spirit, where it's like, wow, I'm going to attract, more abundance to me because all I do is I look around me and I see abundance, regardless of what it may appear to be on the surface. I see, a rotting apple. The rotting apple sits in front of me, but I see an apple tree that's going to come from when I plant the seeds from the rotted apple. Whoa. And then the learning student teacher with the apple aspect as well. Interesting. Oh, interesting. Pigs. Yeah, there's something about pigs here. Pigs are considered, I believe it's within the Chinese culture, but I could be wrong. Pigs are considered very, very lucky. Very, very lucky, very, very fortunate. Does feel like some good financial abundance and security here, Leos, which is really beautiful. But something about the pig here. Something about pigs flying. I feel like things are about to be on an upkick for you in a really beautiful way. Especially you've been in a place where it's felt a bit stagnant or a bit slow and steady wins the race or whatever have you. I feel like you've been working diligently, putting in the time, being open and receptive to new ideas, being an eternal student, all of that good stuff. And it's about to flow in a really beautiful way. Oh, weird. Okay, so we have the Three of Swords here, but let's talk about this because this is really, really interesting to me. So first of all, there's a little pig right there, and I'm gonna say he looks like a very angry little pig, but I want to point something out. Well, first of all, Three of Swords traditionally is about heart pain, loss, trauma, strife, all of that stuff. But I'm going to tell you what this is telling me because it does feel like it's in the reverse, but I want to talk about it in the upright for the purpose of, aesthetics, whatever else, visuals. But I'm going to tell you something. Do you see this guy right here? How he's like waving adieu to like all of these people up here standing on the sword, right? He's like, bye, see you later. This feels very much like the Fool energy to me, as in starting a new chapter, moving onward and upwards. This is an important message for you guys, because remember when I said Page of Swords energy as well? There's something to that, where I feel like there's this energy of, I feel like this, and I want to talk about the year, okay? I want to talk about the year for you. First of all, 3 is a number of extremities, right? And this has been an extreme year for sure. Don't care who you are or where you are. It's been extreme in some way, shape, or form, right? But there's something here about things being brought into perspective and you releasing, because of your perspective, you releasing things, aspects, people, parts of yourself, certain patterns of thinking that don't serve you anymore, that you feel differently about now, that you don't need. And I feel like you're waving goodbye to them. But it's the reason I'm getting that too is because the hummingbird is very light. It can't carry any weight within it. And I feel like this is a shedding of heart pain, shedding of heart weight. But I also feel like for those of you who are in the business or just as a person, are there for other people a lot, or you help other people, or you heal other people, this is all, it all feels very related, because I'm hearing the saying that you can only heal and help others as much as you heal and help yourself. And that feels like what I'm looking at here and what I'm feeling here. It's really beautiful, actually. These people don't look very happy to be dismissed, but it's like you're making this call from a place of your own knowing and, you know, what's best for you. It's really good. It's really beautiful energy. Okay, Six of Pentacles. Wow. Wow, variations on a theme here. Okay, oh, come here. This is really interesting. So, okay, this is the Eight of Swords here. So see how it says interference? Interference there with all these snakes and cables and it's all going through the TV. I'm going to point something out here. Interference. I was just talking about what this year has been and how it's been a lot of extreme energy. And then you're in the Six of Pentacles place, the Tower of Learning. You know, I'm seeing now that the tower that I saw in your opening meditation, this whole year has been a series of tower moments, hasn't it? There's this aspect of you cutting out the interference, cutting out the aspects of yourself or those around you that don't serve. I also feel like some of you have just stopped watching the news. Either that or you're starting to see the glitches in the matrix with the news and you're going, oh my God, it's all designed to get me to do this, think this, believe this. You're starting to see through all of that. I almost feel like it's a return to your roots, a return to nature, as opposed to technology. It's like you're starting to have especially those of you who were into technology at one time or social media, it's sort of like you are finding a lot more pleasure in, you know, nature, interpersonal relationships, connecting with people on an individualized basis. There's something about that. It's like, it's almost as if you've experienced a certain shadow energy of social media and you're like, okay, I'm gonna need a break, right? You're looking at it differently, seeing it differently. There's something about how you see things. Traditionally, Eight of Swords is about a mental prison, analysis paralysis, right? But it's interesting because it's clarifying the Six of Pentacles, which is about equal give and take, student, teacher, benefactor, right? It feels like you're in a beautiful place of just post-release or in the process of releasing, realigning, reconfiguring, and reformatting. Seems to be the key word. Relearning. Interesting. Okay, Queen of Pentacles. But I can still feel love energy permeating throughout this. I do want to say that they're the greatest love of all, darlings, which is a cliche for a reason. It's the love you have for yourself. And I do feel like that is at the heart of this as well. Oh, God. So the Empress is all about self-love, which I'm obsessed with. Her and the Ace of Cups are. So I love that you got a feminine energy for a feminine energy here. So first of all, this is a lady with a baby. So she's normally, it's a number 3. It's another 3. Interesting. She's normally depicted as being pregnant. So for me also, the Empress is very much about believing it before you see it. And I was just talking about your perception, not seeing the rotted apple, but seeing the tree that's going to come from the seed that you plant from the rotted apple. This is exactly what this is right now. This is the energy that you're moving towards, you know, embodying within the month of October. It's really, really beautiful. I'm also getting a certain sense of ancestral energy present here for you as well, especially with that dragon. You know, October is a the veil is thinner this month anyhow. I do feel that there's a lot of comfort and perspective to be found in your elders, whether they're here or not. They can come to you in dream time if they've passed on. You could find things of theirs. You're like, oh my God, I remember my grandmother, my grandfather used to say this or used to do this, right? There's this call to a time where social media was a lot less relevant. Because again, I'm hearing that word of mouth thing. Word of mouth was how things got on before social media ever existed. It does feel like a return to your roots or simple pleasures or things that you can see, touch, and feel, right? I'm also feeling a specific sensitivity to, what is that energy that Wi-Fi puts off? It's like what is this, guys? The waves, the electromagnetic waves, that they don't, what is that? A certain sensitivity to that, interestingly enough. Yes. Also, the stars above the Empress's head here are really beautiful. She usually wears that diadem of stars, showing her connection to her own divinity. Empress is also about being in a place of receptivity and reciprocity herself. I also want to point out how that baby has a heart on its bib. We're looking at the 3 of Swords here. Yeah. And there is a sense of loss or rearrangement that leads to the birth of new given circumstances and things, for sure. Three of Swords. Ooh. Oh. The Mage, the Magician. This is very much what I was saying. You know, the Magician is very much about, you know, being the manifester of your own reality and your own destiny, right? The Magician is about, I realize that I can choose what I want and go about making it happen. You know, what are the tools that the Magician has at his disposal? What are the tools? A cup, right? Which is about emotions and our intuition, letting our emotions and our intuition inform us. He has a sword, which allows him to communicate ideas and receive truths and face truths and clarity, right? And communicate, right? He also has a pentacle, which grounds him to the earth beneath him and fulfills his sense of his earthly needs as well, and his security, his home, his home base, as it were, from which he can go and prosper because he knows he has the home on lock, right? Then he has the wand, the Magician's wand, which he picks up, and it is an extension of his intention. Actually, I feel like that's rather this whole reading too. It's like you are an extension of your own intention for the month of October. And it's yielding a lot of beautiful rewards, really, really beautiful. But I also want to point out, this dude is cutting out aspects of himself or others around him or moving on to something else, moving away, right? And then going and being in his own energy and figuring out, okay, what note? A, E, C, D, right? Figuring out the notes there, figuring out, you know, because he knows that once he does set that intention, that it's going to come to fruition in a 3D context, right? This is really beautiful, Leo. It's really, really beautiful. Yeah. I can smell, there's also a computer here too, but instead of having a actual website up, it's the infinity symbol. There's something about that. I can also smell like someone making dinner in the kitchen, and the mage is like, all right, I'll be there in a minute. You guys have a beautiful support base. It feels really nice. Feels really, really nice, actually. I want to get one of these vintage oracles for my Leos here. The Matrix. Okay. The Matrix feels important as well. Doesn't matter if you've never seen the movie, but I'm getting the sense of like the Matrix, follow the white rabbit. I feel like you are seeing things or helping others see the reality outside of the Matrix, a given way of seeing things and doing things, programming, all of that. I feel a distinct energy around that. Ooh. Ancestors. We talked about that, remember? Remember when I said that, you know, elders in your family, whether they've passed on or not, they might be coming through dreams. And it makes sense in October too, as the veil is thin, like I said. Grandpa, grandma, and then we have ancestors here. This is really, 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 really beautiful. You know, I feel like, especially if you have children or you want to have children, then you could even be having thoughts along the line, because again, ancestors, empress, babies, all that good stuff. You could be having thoughts along the line of, you know, if and when I do have children, or I do have children, you know, what would I teach them? What would I want them to do differently than I have? What would I say to them about this year? What would I say to them about, you know, the meaning of life, what happiness looks like, what is important? There's something about that. And I feel like there is this call back to like your elders, your family, those who have passed on, those who are still around. You're going, wow, I'm going to cherish this time now and all this good stuff. But it's also about examining your relationship to those who came before you. Really seeking out that wisdom. Also, the throwback energy to pre-social media, it feels very, very strong here. It feels very strong. Okay? Also, the flowers are very much about purity in the shape of stars as well, which is about intuition and illumination as well. This is really beautiful, Leos. Work it out. So this is your October general reading here. I so hope that this helped and resonated. If so, please do let me know in the comments below. I love reading your comments. And as always, just thank you. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for being you. Be well. Until next time.